On Saturday, April 30th, the Hot Springs Police Department will host an event, and here to tell us the details is Corporal Kirk Zahner, who is the Public Information Officer for the Hot Springs Police Department. Welcome, Kirk.
Thank you, Terry.
This is an important event for the entire community.
It is. April 30th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. we're going to open up the police department lobby for the National Drug Initiative Take Back. And the purpose is to get people to bring in unused or unwanted prescription medications. They can drop it off here at the police department in a secure drop box, no questions asked. Our goal is to get those prescription medications that are just sitting in medicine cabinets, not being used, off the streets. What we find is about a third of the prescription medication that are in people's homes are never used. And so they sit there, they become expired, forgotten about, and the risk that we run into is, children getting those medications, or if people flush them down the toilets, you either have a accidental poisoning situation or we're polluting our waterways. So what we would like is for people to bring those unwanted medications to the police department, put them in the drop box, they'll be secured, then we'll remove them and properly destroy those prescription medications so that it doesn't damage our environment or endanger other people.
Right, and the average person doesn't have the ability to properly destroy those medicines.
No, and most people think they can just flush them, and that's what a lot of people do. But the risk you run with all those medications being flushed into our water system, it'll pollute it, and that causes hazardous situations also.
Yes. Now, one location is the Hot Springs Police Department. Is the Troop K also participating?
Yes, you can go on to www.artakeback.org. And there's a list of all law enforcement agencies that will be open and taking prescription medications. But Hot Springs Police Department will be open April 30th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. to take those medications, as well as the state police here in Hot Springs, which is Troop K. Thereafter, our lobby will be open, and that lockbox will be available for people to come in Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day. And we will check that box weekly and remove the medications, label them, and then have them properly disposed of.
Excellent. Well, what a great service to the community. So once again, mark your calendar for Saturday, April 30th, and you've got the time between now and then to gather up those medications and make sure that your home is safe.
Absolutely.
From those things that are no longer needed.
Right.
Okay. We're going to talk about several other initiatives that the Hot Springs Police Department has been recently involved in. And one of them is procedural justice training for the entire personnel at the Hot Springs Police Department.
Right.
How did that get started?
Well, first I'd like to explain what procedural justice is, and it's the basic concept of procedural justice is understanding that all people want to be treated with respect and dignity. Chief Stacey, who's our interim chief, when he took over as interim chief, he saw a need for that to happen. So he sought out the best instructor available for procedural justice, and that happened to be Lieutenant Andy Harvey of the Dallas Police Department. Lieutenant Harvey has been teaching procedural justice for about the last 3 years. So Chief Stacey got him to come in, and over 3 days he instructed all the officers and civilian employees on the concepts of procedural justice and how to better communicate effectively with people and let everyone know that we do care about them and that we want them to feel respected during the process.
So as a result of this training, the individual has a more positive experience with the police department.
Absolutely, and a lot of times people aren't as concerned about the end result or the outcome of the process, but how they were treated during the process. And that's what this training focused on, was how to effectively communicate and deal with and treat people with dignity and respect during the process. So even if the end result wasn't what they wanted, they came away feeling that they were respected and understood and heard.
And sometimes that involves just basic things like listening or explaining when someone has questions about what's going on.
Exactly, and a big part of communication is listening, and I think that's where Chief Stacey really wanted us to improve on, was our listening and ultimately communicating with the citizens.
Well, that sounds like a very important training that the police personnel have undergone, and something that they can employ every single day.
And very effectively to better promote the police department and our mission.
Right. We already have great relations with the community, but this is certainly going to be improving it.
It is.
Fantastic. Okay, lastly, we want to talk about active shooter training, but it's also known as CRAZE. What does CRAZE stand for?
CRAZE stands for Civilian Response to Active Shooter Events. And a lot of law enforcement agencies have gone through alert training, which is the law enforcement officer's role in responding to active shooters, but CRAZE deals with the civilian response to active shooter.
And why would that even be necessary in a place like Hot Springs?
Well, you just never know, where these situations are going to happen, and they happen all over the place. What CRAZE focuses on is the civilians' response and what they should expect and what they can do to better protect themselves. And we have a lot of active shooter situations that occur in businesses, in schools, in churches, and so we want the civilians to have a better understanding of what they can do to protect themselves, what they can do to help law enforcement as we respond to those kind of scenes.
Did we actually have any examples of that happen in Hot Springs?
A recent example that I can think of was a few weeks ago. It was reported as a rogue squirrel situation, but what happened was three men with pellet rifles that looked like real rifles were trying to exterminate some squirrels, and they ended up walking towards Gardner Magnet School campus, and a teacher saw these people with guns walking towards the campus, and she sounded the alarm, and the school went to lockdown. And they had actually, Hot Springs School District had actually been through the CRAZE training recently, so the school district's response was spot on, as was the Hot Springs Police Department's. And had that been a real situation, and at the time everyone believed it was, but had that been a real situation, the school did exactly what they should have, as did the police department, and ultimately we would have saved a lot of lives. So it worked really, really well.
Some of us at the City of Hot Springs, as employees, we went through this training, which
Right.
we found was excellent. And I understand that when you go through training like that and you're in a situation, it often just naturally kicks in, doesn't it?
It does. It's some muscle memory, and it's better to be prepared and have that knowledge and not need it than need it and not have it.
Mm-hmm. That is certainly one of the services that the police department provides, is training various businesses and groups in the community.
Correct. And if anyone's interested in some CRAZE training or just to be better prepared for active shooter situations, you can contact the Hot Springs Police Department. My phone number is 501-321-6789, and my extension is 6740. That's the Public Information Office, or you can go on our website and get more information. You can contact us through email. Emails are on the website.
Excellent. Well, that covers 3 different initiatives that are going on. The police department is always busy.
Always busy.
Yes, and we appreciate your giving us the update. Let's do this again because throughout the year, the Hot Springs Police Department is always reaching out to the community and helping citizens to better partner with law enforcement to get the job done.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for joining us
Thank you, Terry.
today. And next week, we'll bring you more city news.